our journey in Spain is slowly coming to an end. Today we visit a desolate family house that is oddly enough located in the middle of a big city but has still remained completely untouched. That's a trinity which is rare to encounter. The house was lived in for many years by a famous radio host. His wife was a music teacher, and the following family generations also obtained prestige and good positions. The whole house is still loaded with luxurious furniture from that period, in which the passage of time is noticeably visible, affecting many areas of the house, with a musty smell and mold on all the fabrics and wood. The house remained in the family, yet there is not a single heir who is willing to maintain it. Today, we venture our way inside and show you what's left behind after 15 years. So there we are back, and you're probably hearing a lot of ambient city sounds. And that's right, this house, which is abandoned in Spain, is in the middle of the city center. And we actually visited this place already 1 year ago.
And right now we are back, and it still looks the same. It's just such an amazing fact that a house in the middle of the city center is just abandoned for such a long time.
And it's not being sold. I mean, it's so central.
I really don't get it. I really don't get it. The same entrance as before, just opened, well, opened. I remember that it was like this, and then we were like, oh no, it's locked.
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
our Portuguese friend said, wait a second, this is so stupid.
And then we entered, and now it's exactly the same.
We were so shocked. We were like, damn, the one put that lock over there, he's not so smart.
And probably really nobody is caring about the place anymore. Well, your first impression might be, this place is vandalized. We can tell you, this was already the condition 1 year ago. And we were actually thinking the same, like, damn, it's vandalized. Well,
No.
some rooms in the beginning might be, but just keep on watching the video, as you will be totally surprised how this house, or is a mansion, it's very big.
Yeah, it's very big.
In
It's
the
a
middle of the
mansion.
city center is so well preserved.
You know, you would expect that people of the city would literally come here for fun. Locals, just vandalizing and...
They seem to have a lot of respect there in Spain, and a lot of good moral values.
Indeed, you can already firstly tell by everything over here is left. Electric furnace. Oh, look.
A scale,
Indeed. And
a butcher's knife. Oh, this was actually to stamp some things and pulverize it.
indeed.
I think it's still exactly the same as it was like.
This was exactly the same.
And the other scale here too.
The cobwebs. You heard that?
Yeah, I think there is a street parade going on at the moment in the city.
It's literally in the middle of the city center.
It's like at the main square.
It was also very dodgy to come over here, but yeah.
We just were like, okay, let's just do it, and we will see if somebody sees. Well, I think around 20 cars have seen us jumping the wall.
Maybe even more. But yeah.
So be it.
But that's how we literally do it. We're just like, we don't have any bad intentions, so we do like, it's the normalest thing in life, which you do every day.
Yeah, we don't do it like too sneaky, you know?
No,
we do it like sneaky, but not like suspiciously sneaky.
We just go, we do like, yeah, this is our job. Going to do the garden over here, you know?
Anyways, guys, all jokes aside, we're going on with the exploration, and let's see.
I remember that this one was actually over here.
And there was actually also like a religious statue over here. And then there was like a second kitchen. I remember it for the last time.
And over here was everything leavened. From food products to
blades to kitchen equipment. Yeah, it's stuffed, overstuffed.
But I can't remember that was such a big mess.
It was already messy, but I think it's slightly messier than before.
Teapot.
Man, this looks so dirty. Like...
Yes, that's what I indeed remember. This place is so decaying and literally all the products were left. Probably touched these 1 year ago.
It's like olives?
Yep, and it's from 2005.
Okay.
So, yep, abandoned for 15 years.
What might be an interesting story to tell to the people as well is, still remember it from last year. The man lived there with a very big family, and his name was Jose. And he actually was like a teacher or a professor at the local university here. That was his job. What this woman did, we never knew, and hopefully we will find out this time.
Indeed.
But he actually had a lot of children. And then of course arises questions like, why didn't the children take care of the home? And they could have probably sold it with a lot of profit there in the center, if they were in time at least. Wow, this is still very, very pristine.
Everything is still in the right place.
Yeah, only a few mugs are missing, and furthermore it's literally pristine.
And then have a look.
Yeah, the cards.
With the bottle of wine still filled. I don't know if you can see it, but there is some red wine in it. Alcohol smell. And then I think
this one was empty, right?
No, it wasn't. That's what I remember, at least. That it was very nasty. Oh yeah, the smell. It's the same smell.
Well, let's get out of here. I'm sorry for the chaotic footage. I know you all don't want to get dizzy, but that was just disgusting. Okay. Well. This is the next room. Okay. One breath, and yeah, we can go on. Have a look at it. It's crazy how all the painting on the ceilings and the walls is just all peeling off, decaying.
This was a very beautiful decaying room. It's so strange that I'm telling this was, but it's just...
It still is.
Yeah,
it's
you know...
way more decay now.
We've been here 1 year ago, and it's just so cool to see that these places just remain like we saw it once.
Yeah, and in our country, or France or Belgium for example, this would have never been possible that the abandoned place remains in the same condition for that long.
Oh no, never.
That
Never.
makes it actually so fascinating to see that this is a true time capsule.
So sorry if we are looking at it from this perspective, like we already seen it, but alright, we're just gonna show it to you like it's your time, you know, the first time you're seeing this.
And look at the vanity. There's actually some beautiful carved details on the sides. This one is broken over here, and this one looks like, how do you call it again? Like a seahorse.
Oh yeah, indeed. And then also the candles.
Some pills inside of here.
Yeah, what are they?
It's for a high blood pressure.
Okay. Oh, they're still inside.
Alright, and then we're actually going to the hallway. And have a look, there is a giant staircase going several floors to the upper levels.
And you can tell all the cobwebs and the molds, the white mold, some black mold.
It's taking over.
And that only for 15 years of abandonment. Damn.
It's because the property is just wide open at some sides.
Oh. Is this, oh yes, from the UK. Alright. And what is this? El mundo de la música.
I do think these people just love to listen to music.
Yeah. These very strange books, man. Maybe
Definitely
about-
mostly classical music.
Yeah. Indeed. Nothing inside. And yeah, these are more of these music books and, well, some other things about music.
So right in front of us right now was actually their main door, the front door. Oh, you can probably hear the ambience in the city right now. People are partying, there is loud music going on, and here are we, just exploring this abandoned home.
In the middle of the city.
And we can talk as loud as we want because people are partying, man. They're not even gonna hear us.
I remember back then we were like,
Yeah, we were whispering, we
Whispering
were very,
all
very
the time.
cautious.
damn. Yeah,
Oh, this is sad.
beautiful, but again, the room remains beautiful, but this has been vandalized.
You know, right over there on the wall, actually used to be like 10 pictures and photos hanging up. They've all been thrown around and just been removed. That cabinet as a whole used to be pristine. Right now the books are smashed outside of it, but then actually look at the beauty of it. There's a beautiful carpet. Has a very Eastern look, this room.
And also the curtains. And this thing over here completely vanished in mold.
You cannot even see anything anymore.
It looks like it's just the original one, but it's mold.
The mold artist.
Yeah, the mold artist.
Over here also the downsides. There's a typical Spanish detail to apply this on the downside of the chairs.
And then indeed. Oh, this is from Citroën. Alright. Some art. Wow. Huh. Beautiful countries.
This is very, very old.
Yeah.
Wow. This is so properly old. This used to be the province where we are in now in Spain, but it's looking so, so different right now. This is crazy.
It's going back in time, man.
And by the way, people, if you're still watching, just leave in the comment section right now what you think about the background music. It's not from Epidemic Sound as we normally use.
No, indeed. I hope we won't get a claim from the people outside.
Yeah, for the copyright. Anyways, so you can see the television, you can see the bookshelf, but let's just start off over here with a very, very unique painting. And look at the face of the man. It's actually telling a lot of stories. And there is actually a lot of pictures, and this was actually the wife of Mr. 𝗦𝘁cie, the professor at the university. And then those were the two mothers.
Indeed.
From 𝗦𝘁cie and his wife, respectively.
And I remember falling so in love with this bookshelf. But they were all perfectly in place. Why would you do that?
Yeah, all
This
these
is such a unique piece.
all these old Bibles, for example.
I can't open up this one, man.
I'm lucky that it's still closed. So people cannot grab everything out and just
No.
throw it around.
And I also remember that these were some proper old books. Maybe I can find the date.
1874, yeah.
1874.
You remember it, right?
Damn, bro. 1874. And this is version 3, alright. And I want to see version 1. Well, no. 1868.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a O.
1809 will be. Wow. But I can. Well, I think there are some decaying books inside of here that go back by then, but it will be too much research, man. We can tell that there are some proper old books inside of here.
Yeah, for real. So imagine that this was such a livable room back in its days. They were just sitting here on the sofas and the seats and watching to the Panasonic television.
And now, it's just been.
There were still all the cassette tapes, like movies and things.
Also the Walt Disney movie.
Now look over here. There's actually some photos, and that's actually Mr. 𝗦𝘁cie.
That was him, yeah.
I think that was his father, maybe?
Probably the family member.
Yeah, we're
And
just
another
assuming
painting.
things and just trying to get an imagination of what the relations between the family was like. But of course, we never know if this information is 100% accurate, so don't blame us.
No. And then this is so cool. 𝗦𝘁cie 𝗿𝗶𝘆𝗶. It's in the Netherlands.
Yeah, it's a city in the Netherlands, indeed. That's some history from our own country.
Indeed. Finding it in Spain, wow.
That means a lot. Okay, so this room might have been slightly vandalized, but still very beautiful. But the other room, it's gonna be on another level.
This was the room.
Wow. And it's still in exactly the same condition as it was like.
I'm so happy that it still is. 'Cause this was just wow. And it still is. What a big surprise.
And all of that in a very, very bad state of decay and of disrepair. So we're gonna start off over here with a very luxurious Spanish sofa.
Indeed, indeed.
Carved wooden sides. And then I knew that the last time we were staring to this painting for so many minutes.
Yeah. We're like, who was this person? C. Andres. Or S. Andres. Maybe it has to do something with religion? Well, now we can finally ask you, what do you think, or at least who do you think this person was? And what do you think the purpose of this painting was?
Yeah, I do have a feeling it's something with belief.
Yeah. Then, chair over here. Beautiful, beautiful details.
Over here are some old photos. This must have been a family ancestor. And this is a quite recent picture, and it was probably the daughter of 𝗦𝘁cie and his wife on her marriage. Such a beautiful girl.
Yeah, indeed.
And this is how we know that 𝗦𝘁cie worked for the university. Actually, on the faculty of medicine. It's actually an award from the medicine university for him. 𝗦𝘁cie Álvarez.
And then right above, another one. It has to do with the university. 1951.
And look at the detail here on top of the lamp, the eagles with the crown.
This actually has to do something with Spain. I found it before.
Well, if people thought they've seen a beautiful chair over here and another very unique painting, then look where Raymond is staring to right now.
I mean, this one? Philippe. Also a famous person in Spain maybe, or...
I think it's the S stands for saint. Wow. Such beautiful detailed art.
And then over here, you could tell that he was a very important person back in his days.
So 𝗦𝘁cie actually also used to be in the Navy, right over here. This was probably in the times when they were still complied to go by the state.
Indeed, indeed.
And then over here, there's actually a lot of music pieces, and that makes sense because Luke's right next to us.
And a beautiful, beautiful piano.
And you know how we call it back then? The piano of memories.
Of memories, indeed. And this is the reason why on top of the piano are so many pictures, and it's just all these heartwarming family pictures, just things they experienced, you know, things they love to do.
It's utterly sad that nobody ever took care of the pictures, and they're still left behind there 1 year later after we explored it. Over there, even the Holy Communion.
The music piece and the big test. Oh, that's false. No, it's not. No, it's completely false.
Yeah. Piano is quite broken. And concerning the state of decay, that's quite logic actually.
Indeed, indeed.
Okay, so we showed you everything on the ground level, and right now we're going to walk up the stairs, following the green carpet over here. Actually over here, like a list with a ship.
Oh, and then beautiful, beautiful clock.
Yeah, look at the grandfather clock.
from Madrid.
And this one is still inside of the case and not stolen. I'm so delighted to see that.
Mm-hmm.
Madrid, the capital of Spain, is where this beautiful clock was made.
And this is sad to see, because these pins.
You can still see the dust marks of where it used to hang up.
Indeed. Well, sadly enough. And this is just magical, you know? It's a very big, well, hallway. It's even like a square, and that's for the upstairs part.
And do you remember that we were sitting here when we filmed the outro of the first video 1 year ago?
Yes, indeed, indeed.
That actually happened a big blooper to me. Do you remember that as well? There was like a cable on the ground, and when I stood up, when we finished the intro, it was attached to a telephone which was laying somewhere right over here.
Oh,
As a consequence, the telephone fell on the ground.
Indeed, indeed, and then...
I placed it back afterwards, but right now the telephone is nowhere to be found.
No, it's gone, it's gone. But actually have a look at the chair, or the sofa. Do you think we should sit there right now?
Nah, I think it will crack.
Hello, DK.
Well, 𝗦𝘁cie and his family were also very, very religious. And we're gonna find a lot of that on this floor.
Indeed, indeed. And we have this small chest, but it's empty. Probably was once for you, jewels. And I think this is the first one we need to enter.
So have a look. This bed was so strange, and still is, because it has been placed on these blocks over there, and as a consequence it's like completely crooked. But why did they do it? That's what we questioned ourselves back then as well.
Yeah, and still a question right now. Over here are a lot of
receipts.
Indeed, indeed. Probably from one of the children. Well, not going into detail over there.
Was like a mirror over here. And again, the mold artist did his work on this painting.
Oh yeah, cool.
Over there, the calendar we found back then as well. And it was from 2005.
And overall it's, you know, it's pretty messy. And it's in a very, very bad decaying state. I mean, yeah, this is completely stuck, but you can already get a glimpse inside. There are clothes left, but...
And you know what's actually very beautiful with this room? The lamp on top.
Oh yeah, a special color.
I love the blue. Okay, so right now we're actually going to the very, very decaying part. Over here is like a very large wardrobe with a lot of clothes. Also many have been thrown out.
Yeah. This actually looks like a... Oh yeah, it is. Burberry of London. This is a Burberry coat.
Really?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you that this piece over here, this is very expensive. But like, very, very expensive. Right now you would pay like 1,000, maybe 2,000 euros for only this jacket.
Well, concerning the size of this place, these people definitely had enough amounts of money. And you know what? I think this was definitely his professor's coat when he went to the uni. Don't you think?
Well, could have been indeed.
Like when he went just on a working day for the man, he put it on.
Yeah.
And he went.
I know what you mean, I know exactly what you mean. Actually, this is the first time that we find an expensive brand inside of an abandoned place.
Damn. What a DK over here.
This is some DK.
Man, what a mold. And this part is going to be epic DK. So have a look. Over here, bricks of the ceiling have just almost all fallen down. Like look, over there, the ceiling is still present.
Because of that part over there.
Yeah.
But after all, it's just
Gone.
falling down indeed.
And then this is a very narrow corridor. It's leading us to the bathroom. Firstly, there is a tiny toilet area with a shower. Next up, there is like a working cabinet, you know, some medicines inside, and also some towels, some brushes, and then have a look over here. The lamp is literally hanging here, and then this is actually the bathroom.
Damn, what's left of it at least?
It's like a rune,
Indeed.
a time bomb.
And then, what was this?
Was like a reading room, I think.
Oh yeah, indeed.
There's also a very beautiful painting here. Sadly enough, decaying as well on the ground. Oh, and then look over here.
Even some more family pictures.
And these family pictures are still in the exact same place as they were one
Back
year
then.
ago.
Yeah.
And this was the woman actually sitting in the living in the downside in these very comfortable chairs. Over here, looks like they were on holiday. All the women together. And then over here was actually the wife of Mr. 𝗦𝘁cie. Fortunately, we didn't find out her name yet.
No.
This is 𝗦𝘁cie again. I think this was her in the younger days.
Indeed. Very beautiful picture also. Yeah, this house was just filled with pictures. These were one of the parents, maybe from the wife or maybe from 𝗦𝘁cie.
So many books.
Indeed.
You can definitely tell that 𝗦𝘁cie was very intelligent. I think this was a family picture. This was their son and daughter. Yeah, this was her. You can definitely relate by the marriage picture. And look, they were just having dinner together.
Well, then we have one painting, which is actually literally
Cut in the middle.
indeed. Alright, finally, we found the name of the woman, and her name was Maria Luisa del Carmen.
Wow. A
So-
mouthful.
A mouthful indeed. I hope I'm reading it right because it's
Louise.
Yeah, I think it's Maria or Luisa del Carmen, at least like that. So that was the name of the woman of 𝗦𝘁cie.
And then over here was actually a bedroom. Have a look, it still looks so pristine.
Yeah. This looks like it can easily be fixed.
Oh yeah, I remember this one. We had big expectations of it will be full of clothes.
And then,
They eventually turned out to be quite empty.
yes. Actually, look, right over here. This is,
It's like another hidden bookshelf.
and this is about Princess Diana. I think this is a book about her life. A Walk for Diana, yeah, this is about her life, man.
Wow.
In
Spanish, yeah.
Indeed.
Well, really hope she rests in peace.
Indeed, still.
Remembers of her. A lot of books again, also some National Geographic atlases and encyclopedias from animals.
Wait, I want to see the encyclopedia actually. It's so cool. Oh, there was actually DVD inside.
I bet. We've seen it many times. And right now we see it on a picture. Eating a mat.
If they aren't inside of the building, then we will find them in another way.
Yeah,
right over here.
They're always haunting us.
And this is also another sign. Look, it's one thing I want to point out really quick. It's 2005, so you can tell 2005 it has been abandoned.
Yeah, well, it won't focus, but indeed, the book is saying 2005, and it was about the King of Spain, Juan Carlos.
See.
Over there, a little crucifix with his flag.
And then, right next to the bed, it's actually another picture, and it's, again, one of the parents.
You can tell how important they were for them. So then we're going to yet another room, and again it's a bedroom. So you can tell how big their family actually was. There was a lot of presence of black mold.
Yeah, I remember it. It was also like back then. This one we really need to do quick because we can actually sense and smell the black mold over here.
Yeah, well, what we really want to point out is a typical Spanish bed made out of wood. Again, a crucifix there. There is some incredible carvings on this bed, and it's so sad it's left in this state to just be left neglected. And what's actually very interesting was this vanity, because look not only at the mold everywhere, but also over here at the makeup mirror.
Yeah.
And then the religious statue over here. That's absolutely incredible. It's heavily decayed. Still, it's oh so beautiful with the ring above his head and the other religious thing here.
And if we then keep on talking about religion, actually in this room, we have yet another religious artifact.
Oh, the headless priest. This was, I guess. And this room is actually very cool. Have a look at the view. The chair over here, it's like near to fall down. And then look at the rest.
Also the old TV over there.
It's like the corridor of decay.
Yeah. Again, a beautiful detail in here. It's a knight's head. Actually, it has been loosened. I can actually pick it up.
Very fragile.
Yeah, true.
So sad that all the furniture and the antiques are going to waste.
Even longer and longer.
Well, some magazines over here. And
No.
actually, have a look over here. It's like a desk full of files. This actually used to be a lamp, and all the files and everything are just completely wet with the rainwater and have become very, very moldy. So over here was actually another bedroom. There's like a bed, a vanity. And yeah, not much more actually.
Indeed. Very simple bedrooms.
And then yet, yeah, you were already expecting it. Yeah, another bedroom. And look, the bed has completely dug in the floor. There is clothes left, but you can also tell in this room it's pretty ransacked.
Yeah.
Stuff has been smashed around again. Wow, I actually really like the vanity. Okay, so we're going to the final level. And what a journey this was again. Even if it was a second time for us, we might have even enjoyed it even more than the first time.
Indeed, indeed. It's so special to see it again and just see it in this state.
It's still the same mess right over here as it was 1 year ago. And this was just a storage part under the roof.
Over here where just a lot of books on the ground.
And look at the school desk. Wow. Over here was actually a bedroom. A very, very tiny one. And there were so many reading books here. Have a look.
Used to read it a lot.
And those were actually shutters you could open, and you just had windows to look outside while you were sitting here and just reading a book. If I remember it right, this room only had like a carpet, yeah. And we were first thinking maybe a corpse or something. We were going crazy. It was literally in the first year we were doing the channel.
Yeah.
Look at the cuckoo clock over here.
It's very
Wow.
cool, huh?
And actually the room next door, there is a rocking chair and an umbrella in the corner. And some beautiful decay. There's actually another door. And this is leading to a very, very tiny area full of storage. I can barely move myself in here. Oh, and another one. Well, again, the roof and another area for storage. Wow, and look at the vintage radio over there. That is absolutely, absolutely fascinating. So time to take our mask off. And we did not regret a single moment that we came back to this place, the mansion of José and his woman Marie-Louise. We really hope you did enjoy this episode and all our efforts to come back to this place. And if you enjoyed it, guys, you know the drill. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Also, don't forget to hit the bell notification button right in the corner over there. And like we always say, peace out, and we will see you on our next adventure in Spain. Bye bye.